Right now, the UK logistics sector is navigating some seriously choppy economic waters. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down a strategic response that goes beyond just surviving and really focuses on how to build resilience for the long haul. Let's dive in. So, let me ask you this. Imagine the latest performance numbers land on your desk, and they're not great. The outlook feels pretty uncertain. What do you do? This isn't just some hypothetical question. It's the reality for a lot of leaders right now. And honestly, it's a huge test of leadership.
There's really no sugarcoating it. We are in a genuine moment of pressure. Freight volumes have been all over the place, while costs just seem to stay stubbornly high. It's a squeeze that's testing the entire industry.
So, what exactly are companies up against? Well, we're seeing these persistently high operating costs, totally unpredictable freight volumes, and just razor thin margins. And yeah, everyone's hoping for an upswing, but any real meaningful recovery, that could still be months away. So the big question is, how do you lead through all of this uncertainty?
When that pressure really starts to mount, there's a very common, almost instinctual reaction. It's the move that leaders have been taught to make for decades whenever the numbers look bad. But is it actually the smartest one?
And here we have it, the stabilize only trap. This is that immediate reflex to just cut costs, reduce overhead or, unfortunately, make redundancies. The goal is to steady the ship, right? And look, stability is absolutely essential, but focusing only on that, that's an incomplete strategy, and it can leave you really vulnerable down the line. The smartest response is almost never a single action. It's about finding a balance. It's about navigating the immediate storm while you're still steering toward your final destination. You've got to combine that short-term stability with long-term transformation. Now, this slide right here really frames the choice perfectly. On the left, you've got that purely reactive path, but on the right, you have the strategic response. So instead of just blindly cutting overhead, you proactively protect your core capabilities. And instead of just making redundancies, you continue to build for the future. See, it's not an either or, it's a both and. Okay, so how do you actually put this balanced approach into practice? Well, it all rests on three really clear pillars for action. Think of this as your leadership framework for getting through these tough times. The framework is pretty simple. First, you stabilize the core. Then, from that strong base, you build future foundations. And running through all of it, you constantly analyze the work. Let's break down what each of these really means. First up, stabilize the core. This is all about identifying the roles, the people, the capabilities that are absolutely essential to your operation. These are the things that keep your network running, that support your customers, and maintain that crucial continuity. You protect them first, no matter what. The second pillar, building future foundations, is so important, especially when times are tough. It means you keep strengthening that roadmap towards more connected systems, clearer visibility, and much better data integration across every single part of the business. You can't hit pause on the future. And pillar 3 is to analyze the work. Now, this takes a real forward-looking approach. It's about digging in and understanding how work actually gets done so you can see where new technology is going to have the biggest impact. Think about a transport planner. Today, that role might be super manual, juggling spreadsheets and phone calls. But with AI-powered route optimization, suddenly that role shifts from manual scheduling to strategic oversight, managing the system, handling exceptions, and making the whole network more efficient. This kind of early analysis lets you make smart decisions about reskilling and restructuring, not just reactive ones made under pressure. See, by combining these three pillars, you're doing way more than just surviving. As we just saw with that planning example, this strategy puts you in the perfect position to transition into the next generation of logistics, a generation that's being defined by technology. And this is such a critical point. We are not talking about science fiction here. Automation and AI are already here, and they are actively reshaping how logistics operations work. This is a present-day reality, not some far-off concept. Embracing this shift in technology leads to real, tangible benefits. We're talking smarter planning, way more efficient operations, seamless data integration, and totally streamlined workflows. It's all about building a business that can operate with more speed and more intelligence. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. When you find yourself in the middle of all this economic pressure, the goal isn't just to react. The goal is to stabilize the present while you deliberately and continuously build the future. The companies that can combine that short-term discipline with a clear vision for long-term transformation,
Those are the ones that are going to thrive. Which really just leaves one question for you to consider. When the market finally turns around, will your organization be playing catch-up, or will it be leading the way?